Good evening and welcome to North of the Border. Ottawa, Ontario, Canada is the site of this continuing coverage of Week 1 action here in Season 5 of the SFL Minor League. I am Nate Hall. I'll be your play-by-play commentator this evening, and with me in the booth, none other than my analyst, Alden Bleeker. Alden, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. It is fantastic to be back in the commentary saddle after a little while off, and it really feels like we're back in the saddle in general. New SFLm season and really a new life for both of these teams here.
Really is, and as we take a look at these two teams, you got Lincoln, who's been off of action in the minor league since Season 1. Ottawa coming off of a dismal 1-7 record last season, but looking to get things kicked off on the right foot tonight. What are you looking for as we're about ready to get this one started?
Well, I think you really look at both of these teams. They have a fair amount of two-way players. They have a fair amount of rookie players. I think you're going to look at both teams to really involve their two-way players to use their experience. And I think for Lincoln in particular, you have Skippy Curtis and Frankie Lynn Custer looking to show off some girl power here in the SFL minor leagues.
And as the kickoff is away, and we are underway here in Ottawa, Ottawa's receiving the kickoff and is returned up to the 23-yard line, and we'll see Ottawa on offense for the first time this evening. And let's introduce you to this Ottawa offense, led by their star quarterback, Kenny Slider, number 2. Halfback is Logan Lee. Fullback is, I'm reading the wrong roster. Ottawa's offense, Cyrus Jive. Dwayne Simmons is the halfback. Fullback is Azami Mihata. Wide receivers are Tyson Burns, Gus Scott, and Michael Knight, and tight end is Dusty Rourke. First and 10 from the 23, right at the middle, is halfback Dwayne Simmons, and he gets a 6-yard gain before he's tackled at the 30-yard line.
Well, and we've seen really over the course of these past few SFL and SFLm seasons, the increasing prominence of the halfback in SFL systems. And really, if you can create space for your halfback, they can oftentimes create some magic for you on offense.
In 2nd and 4, another heavy set here, offset I for Ottawa. Left-hand side this time for Simmons, and he gets another good gain, another 6-yard gain off the left-hand side, and gets enough for the first down.
Well, and there we talk about, just as I was saying, just as I was talking about creating space for your halfbacks, there you go. They throw all the blocks up front, and he has just enough space to get past the first down line, and he takes advantage of that space beautifully.
Simmons again, only getting a 2-yard gain before he's tackled at the 38-yard line. And let's introduce you quickly to this London defense. Defensive end is Kratos Maximus. Defensive tackle Michael Rury. Inside linebacker Matthias Citrion. Outside linebacker Sabo Cannon. Cornerbacks led by the female duo of Frankie Lynn Custer and Skippy Curtis. Free safeties are Nico Vasquez and Rick Evans, and strong safeties are Luke Swift and Frankie Custer. The pass is out and away, and caught out on the right-hand side to fullback Azami Mihata, and that is going to be a gain of about 4 yards.
Well, and this is why it's so important to get your running game set up, because the Lincoln defense was so primed for a run. They were able to create space for their halfback to go from the backfield and find an open lane there.
Early 3rd down test for this Ottawa offense. Heavy set, back to throw, and he's going to be under pressure and sacked. Cyrus Jive goes down for the first time tonight, and Lincoln, that is going to be number 59 for Lincoln. That is going to be inside linebacker Harry Fromond with the sack, and it's going to be 4th down coming up here for Ottawa.
Well, we saw earlier in the game that in the Memphis game, them sending so much pressure all game. Perhaps that's something that Lincoln can continue to key into over the course of this game.
And the punt is away from Aiden Loft and returned by Lincoln up to the 30-yard line. And Lincoln will take over on offense, this time led by Kenny Slider, for real this time. On offense, halfback Logan Lee, fullback John McCool. Wide receivers are Ricky Toolish, Lottie Liu, a two-way player out of San Diego. King Jackson. Tight end is Brian Murphy, another two-way player out of Denver. And on the offensive line is tackle DeBrickashaw Molyneux. And Slider's out to throw for the first time this evening. Gets a reception out to the left-hand side to his receiver. That is going to be King Jackson for his first catch of the season for a nice 3-yard gain.
Well, we talked about in our opening segment here, we talked about utilizing that experience. Kenny Slider and Logan Lee, returning players, and also Lottie Liu and DeBrickashaw Molyneux, two-way players in their own right.
And Kenny Slider this time back in the gun on 2nd and 7. Running backs on either side of him. Hands the ball off this time to his halfback Logan Lee, but nowhere to go. He's going to get tackled right around the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1 or 2 on the play, but tackled right there by number 98 for Ottawa. And that is going to be defensive tackle Bruce Horn. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 situation for Lincoln. Back to throw is Slider, and nobody home. Not sure who he was trying to target there, but nobody home as he was under pressure there on that 3rd down and falls incomplete, and that is going to be 4th down.
Well, this was a great defensive possession by Ottawa, just really covering all of the options for Lincoln, and that was really a suffocating 3 and out. Hopefully, Ottawa are going to be able to keep that up, at least on their side.
And back to punt for Lincoln is Frank Gussie, standing at around his own 20-yard line. He does get the punt away without any pressure coming towards him. And this punt will be returned from the 25. And gets his leg cut out from underneath him. And that is Michael Knight returning the punt up to about the 30. But he is lucky to be okay after he just gets absolutely knocked down by his legs at the 30. But we'll see Ottawa come out for their second offensive drive here. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line for Cyrus Jive and company. Back to throw is Jive, looking over the middle, and had a man there over the crossing pattern intended for Tyson Burns, but nobody home, and incomplete pass, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it was definitely a good idea, but I mean, Ottawa perhaps maybe a little overly cautious to run the ball. I mean, Lincoln really was able to smother their run towards the end of that previous drive that ended in a punt, and you maybe worry about being overly cautious in general if you're Ottawa.
2nd and 10 from the 30-yard line, this time 3 wide for the wide receivers. His throw, it looked like, and that is going to be intercepted by Lincoln. First turnover of the game for this defense, and that's going to be number 30, Frankie Lynn Custer, with her first interception of her minor league career. Congrats to her on picking that one off.
Well, and this is just a cohesive defensive play. As you see, the pressure being sent up into the pocket, and the secondary does a great job to stay with it all the way downfield, and just a great job of getting to the quarterback and reading where the ball is going to go. A great job by the Lincoln defense to get the ball back after the 3 and out.
Slider back to throw, gets the ball out, this time into flats. Looks like that may be the fullback Mihata. That is going to be the wrong number, wrong team. Fullback John McCool this time into flats, and that's going to be back to the line of scrimmage in 2nd and 10.
Well, we saw earlier in the night 2 games that were fairly high scoring. It seems like so far this game is going to be one more in the trenches and on the front lines.
2nd and 10 with split backs in the backfield for Lincoln. Hands the ball off to the running back Logan Lee, and only a gain. Actually, they're going to say he didn't get anything on that run, as Ottawa's outside linebacker Timothy Connolly comes in for the stop.
Yeah, very, very gritty game here so far, as we've been saying. Just very little space to exploit, and these defenses have really been on point here so far.
Slider back to throw, escaping pressure, gets to throw over the middle, and that's going to be completed for the first down, and that's going to be 17, Lottie Liu with his first catch of the season for this offense. He's used to making catches for the San Diego Mavericks, and he makes his first catch for this Lincoln offense.
Well, and the story of this game, yards have really been at a premium here. So you see the experience, Kenny Slider, the returning player, connecting with Lottie Lou, the two-way player. And this is really perhaps where we're going to see these yards start to be picked up with these experienced players using their experience to their advantage.
And with the heavy set on first down, hands the ball off to Logan Lee right up the middle, but only getting 2 yards before being tackled right there by number 56 outside linebacker Darren Fields. Second and 8 from the 39-yard line now for Lincoln. Slider under center. Back to throw. Throws it out in the flats for his halfback Lee. Breaks a couple of tackles along the sidelines and gets enough for the first down to the 28-yard line. And that is a great gain on that play to get that first down.
Yeah, and that is just so huge for Lincoln. Both of these teams have really sort of struggled to move the ball against smothering defenses. And, you see a great pass, great connection on the out route there. And don't look, but Lincoln are starting to march down the field here.
This is the first offensive drive we've seen from either team that's gone this far down the field. So we'll see if they can capitalize on this good field position as they start first and 10 from the 28-yard line. Hands the ball off to Lee right up the middle. And again, it's only a 1-yard gain as this time Timothy Connolly comes away with the tackle.
Well, this could very well be the strategy that we start to see from Lincoln. Both teams are really suffocating the run game, so it could be that this passing game for Lincoln ends up being the decisive advantage.
Slider, this time he tosses to the left, back to Lee. We've seen that toss play a little bit more, especially in the major leagues in season 18. Tries it here with Lee and only gets a gain of a couple before Blaylock comes in for the tackle.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, at the next level, we really are starting to see more of the tossing play as we start to see more and more prominence among halfbacks. And really, it's also the blocks at the next level that are facilitating the toss play.
3rd and 7, Slider back in the gun. Halfbacks on either side of him. Pressure is fantastic as he gets the throw away off to the left-hand side. And Lottie Lou, once again, nice catch with the tiptoes on the sidelines and gets the first down once again, now inside the red zone as they continue to move the ball down the field.
Well, and again, you talk about providing time for your for your offense with the blocks. Kenny Slider had all the time in the world, as did Lottie Lou, and this seems to be the offensive focus for Lincoln now, is getting space and getting time for these two to work.
But nowhere to go on that first down play as they hand the ball off to Logan Lee. And number 92 for Ottawa, that is Mitch Trunk coming in with the tackle for loss, making it a 2nd and 12. So it's going to be 2nd and 12 for Lincoln from the 17-yard line as they go backwards on that play. Offset I formation. Slider back to throw, deep drop. Tries to find his man to the right-hand side, but no one was open. And perfect positioning on that side by number 56, Darren Fields, to get in front of that one to knock that one away, as Slider looked like he was looking for Brian Murphy for the reception.
Well, as people are saying, Ottawa has really struggled with their passing defense so far this drive, and that's really a good sign for them. Their ability to at least get their hands on the ball there. Got to hold on to that, though, when it hits your hands.
3rd and 12, Slider back to throw. Caught at the 13-yard line, but not enough for the first down. 4th and 2 as they get that one completed to fullback John McCool. But Josh Neal, the strong safety, was right there to make sure he didn't get anywhere close to those sticks, and brings up a 4th and 2 from about the 7-yard line.
Yeah, and Ottawa in full bend, don't break mode there. I imagine they'll be very happy to hold Lincoln to a field goal after what looked like it was certainly going to be a touchdown.
Left-footed kicker Jordan Shaw coming in to attempt a field goal to try to get the first points of the game for Lincoln. Snap spot, kick is up. And the kick is going to be through the uprights and good from 24 yards out. And that'll give us the first points of the contest. Make the score 3-0. Lincoln on top. Late stages here in the first quarter. Esports TV has partnered with the SFL to bring sim football to millions of homes over the next 2 years. ESTV is the world's first 24/7 live, linear, and video on-demand esports channel available anywhere. Through your smart TV, on your phone, through Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and more. Visit estv.co to learn more about its programming and to find all the ways you can catch the SFL action on the network. As Ottawa receives this kickoff up to about the 23-yard line, and we'll see Cyrus Jive start this possession from that spot, trying to get something going for his offense. Split backs in the backfield, Cyrus Jive under center. Turns around and hands the ball off to Dwayne Simmons. Simmons gets about 5 yards as he goes up the middle, and a nice gain in 5 up to the 28-yard line before he's tackled.
Well, Ottawa's running game really started well and then kind of ran into a brick wall, but that's a promising sign as well. Really, you're starting to see Ottawa wake up across the board. Really their passing defense starting to come together, and now they're starting to pick up yards on the ground. This is perhaps a promising sign for Ottawa.
Cyrus Jive looked like he was audibling at the line. Didn't like what he saw on defense. He threw the ball over the middle and found his receiver, Michael Knight, for a nice gain on second down. Gets enough yardage for the first down. It's going to move those chains.
Yeah, and really just sort of exactly what we've been seeing from Lincoln on the other side of the ball, just creating space for their receivers and a little pitch and catch. Nothing too fancy, but nothing too fancy needed.
Trips the bottom of the screen as he get 4 wide now. Cyrus Jive throws this one to the left-hand side, and he finds his receiver, Gus Scott, for another nice completion of 5 yards before he's tackled. Second and 5 coming up here for Ottawa now from the 38-yard line. Again, split backs, pro set in the backfield. He hands the ball off again to Simmons, but this time he is going nowhere. Stopped at the line, and this time it is number 55, Sabo Cannon, in on the tackle to make sure Simmons went nowhere.
Yeah, and it's a great job by Lincoln to shore up the defenses there, as we saw the run setting up the pass for Ottawa on the previous set of downs, and now they're in a tough position.
Cyrus Jive back to throw. All the time in the world. Looks deep over the middle. Got his man. No one was there. That is going to be a huge gain and a first down to Tyson Burns. And what happened here? How did he get so wide open?
Well, you see, I mean, Cyrus Jive, I mean, really, it was a great job blocking up the pocket. Cyrus Jive having time to read all his options, and you see downfield there, just a streak of red. He sees his options, sees that the double coverage is not going to be able to catch up to his man, and before you know it, they're way past the 50 now.
Back to throw is Jive once again. Left-hand side this time. Bobbled by both teams. And incomplete, as it looks like that was Frankie Lynn Custer once again looking for her second interception, but this time falls to the turf and gets a pass deflection out of it.
Well, it was one of the keys that we mentioned at the very start of this game. Frankie Lynn Custer and Skippy Curtis, that 1-2 punch of girl power on defense for Lincoln, and they really have been a big part of this Lincoln defense as much as Lincoln sending pressure has been a part of the defense.
Wide open over the left-hand side. Jive was looking for number 41. That is going to be tight end Sean Baker, but falls off the hands and incomplete. Third down coming up.
Yeah, that would have been a tough catch to make, but I mean, really just a commendable job of by Cyrus Jive to even get the ball there in the first place.
3rd and 10 from Lincoln's 24-yard line. Jive by himself and the gun in the backfield now with 4 wide. Taking his time, getting the snap off, looks over the middle, and that is going to be incomplete as the receiver gets nailed this time by Sabo Cannon to jarred the ball loose, and looks like Ottawa is going to have to settle for a field goal attempt, but that is going to come on the other side of the first quarter break. As we reach the end of the first quarter with a score Lincoln 3, Ottawa 0, you're watching the SFL Minor League here on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. As we welcome you back inside the booth, Nate Hall alongside Alden Bleeker. And kicker for Ottawa is Aiden Loft on to attempt this field goal from about 40, we'll call it 40 yards out. Try to tie this game up early in the second quarter. Snap spot, kick is up. Oh, and he hooks it right and no good. And Ottawa's going to stay scoreless on the board, and it's going to stay 3-0. And actually, that is going to be kicker Amelia Rose. Excuse me, Amelia Rose returning to do kicks for Ottawa, and she misses that wide right.
Yeah, an inauspicious start to the season for Amelia Rose, and oh man, that is tough from that distance. You really feel like you got to make it, but it's a new season, and that pressure can really start to mount in ways that you can't really predict.
Hands the ball off. It does. Slider to Logan Lee, and a huge hole right the middle, and a nice spin move added by Lee to get 7 yards on that first down play.
And, we see, watch these blocks thrown up front, taking the Ottawa defenders away from where they could possibly get to him. And it's one block shed in the back that ultimately brings him down. But this has really been something that we've been seeing both teams struggle to do, is open up the run. And perhaps both these teams have finally found the secret.
2nd and 3 now for Lincoln. Hands the ball off again to Lee, but this time nowhere to go. Bottled up at the line as number 98 for Ottawa, Bruce Horn, comes away with a tackle to make sure Lee doesn't go anywhere on 2nd down, bring up a 3rd and 3 from the 37-yard line. 3rd and 3 now for Lincoln. Tried to avoid a 3-and-out after that missed field goal. Under center this time is Slider, back to throw. Finds his fullback, McCool, out in the flats, but good job by the defense of Ottawa to stay on point and get the open field tackle to make sure he doesn't go anywhere. Brings up 4th down.
Yeah, it was a good eye by Kenny Slider to even see that as an option, but really Ottawa took away everything else, so it put him in a situation where his receiver would have had to have run over multiple Ottawa defenders to even make a play there.
As this punt is returned up to Ottawa's 29-yard line, and we'll see their offense come out and start from there once again. Have you checked out video content produced by our community lately? Catch SFL Crunch Time every Wednesday night. SFL Nights with AJ Stryker premieres Thursday night. Say It With Your Chest airs Fridays. And NETMA can be seen all week long at 7 p.m. Eastern. Every week, the live show schedule can be accessed through our Discord server at the top of the channel listing. Just look for the events tab. As that reception is made by fullback Azami Mihata, and that's going to be a gain of about 8 yards, bringing up a 2nd and short.
Yeah, and this is this is sort of what Lincoln was trying to do with the last pass of the previous drive, just finding space in the flat for their fullback and giving him a few yards to run. This is a fairly manageable and one situation.
2nd down for Ottawa as the Jive hands the ball off to the left-hand side to Simmons. Simmons gets a huge gain, follows his blockers to the left-hand side as you take a look at the replay, and nice spin move as well, gets a 1st down.
Yeah, Jeremiah Tarter, the center for Ottawa, following him up the field there, doing a great job to make, what we call the secondary block. And Dwayne Simmons had plenty of space and plenty of time to find the lane there and get plenty of yards past the first down marker.
Jive calling Nobble at the line, back to throw. Nice out route to the outside. Out to Tyson Burns, now with 2 catches on the day. Nice gain of 4 on the play, gets the ball out to midfield.
Well, that's some good old fashioned tall ball right there. You see Cyrus Jive just putting the ball up into the air. He goes up and gets it. That's really an advantage when you have such a tall receiver.
Handoff to Simmons, but Simmons is going nowhere. There's 3 defenders for Lincoln right there to meet him way behind the line. That's going to be a loss of at least 4 yards on that play. And it looks like that is Matthias Citrion, the inside linebacker, the first one there to greet him and sit him down for a big loss.
Yeah, and Lincoln did a great job reading the cadence of Ottawa, figuring that was going to be a run play. And they sent, you saw 4 or 5 there. It's just a great read by Lincoln.
Back to throw his Jive deep over the right-hand side, tipped in the air. It looked like it was going to be re-caught by Burns on that tip, but incomplete, and it's going to be a 4th down, and just unfortunate that he couldn't come away with that one.
Oh, man, throwing it back to the days of dirt ball, just up in the air. Receiver tips it, another defensive back tips it, and oh, man. That is just so tough if you're Ottawa. That looked like a makeable catch after the first tip. Just a goofy circus play, as you might say.
Punt is away, and Frankie Custer returns this one up to the 17-yard line, and that is where Lincoln will take over their next possession. The SFL has partnered with Rare Drop and Rare Drop Sports to advance live events and distribution. Live and in-person championship weekends, rookie drafts, and community events are in the works. This weekend, catch Jacksonville versus London and Tulsa versus DC on Rare Drop Sports Twitch. Visit raredrop.co for more info on what the company does in the gaming community, and follow Rare Drop Sports on Twitch at twitch.tv/rdsports. As a big play goes the way of Logan Lee this time, that's going to be a big first down on the first play of this drive.
Yeah, and really, this has been one of the first plays that we've really seen Lincoln be able to get their feet set on the offensive line there. Does a great job opening up a hole in the middle for Logan Lee there, and he does a great job exploiting the space for his part. Ottawa really sort of had, or Lincoln, excuse me, really had sort of their backs pinned to the wall, and now they have room to breathe.
Again, back to throw, trying to dive for that one, but falling incomplete. They're going to bring up 2nd and 10. I'm not sure who that, I couldn't catch the number on that one, who was trying to dive for it, but it falls to the turf, incomplete, 2nd down.
Yeah, they flew through the air too darn fast for us to see the number on the back of the shirt there. But man, talk about putting your body on the line for your defense. Ottawa's defense realizing how that would have more or less been a touchdown if they didn't do something about it, and just a huge athletic play to get the stop.
2nd and 10 now for Lincoln. Slider gets the ball out to Ricky Toolish on the right-hand side. A nice 7-yard gain on the sidelines before he stumbled his way out of bounds for a nice 7-yard gain.
Well, and Kenny Slider and Logan Lee, the two returning players, two of the returning players on offense for Lincoln, have been such a force, as people are saying in chat, for Lincoln on offense. They have been able to consistently connect and really punish any minor lapses Ottawa makes on defense.
And that is going nowhere on 3rd down as Slider gets the ball out to that is going to be tight end Torrey Perry on the reception, but a loss of 1 yard brings up 4th down, and the punting unit will come on to punt this one away.
Well, just as we were talking about lapses in defense, I mean, no lapse made by Ottawa there. You saw the tight end there really have nowhere to go and be pushed back by the Ottawa defense. That's as good of a job spacing as it was as good a tackle.
And over these past 2 or 3 possessions by each of these teams here, Alden, we've seen uh, 2 or 3 straight punts. So both of these teams' defenses digging in a little bit here. It seems like.
Yeah, well, we've seen both of these offenses start to click a little more, but you're absolutely right that it really has been a defensive battle, and really it could be one of those games where the first defense to make a key mistake could be the one that ends up being a losing team.
And the fumble this time by halfback Dwayne Simmons. It looks like he may have recovered his own, an offensive lineman. That is going to be number 75. The guard, Jerry Jones, coming away with a fumble recovery for his offense. A lucky break there for Ottawa to get it back to 2nd and 5.
Yeah, and really in a good position here too. I think it is really perhaps the even luckier part.
2nd and 5 from the 30-yard line. Jive back to throw. Pump fakes, but that is going to be tipped away and incomplete as Rick Evans, the free safety for Lincoln, gets his mitts in there to knock that one away.
Well, we've talked about how good this Lincoln secondary has been. It's really been difficult for Ottawa to move the ball, but in both ways. But you see number 32 that'd be Rick Evans just getting in the middle, clogging the passing lanes, and really Ottawa are somewhat fortunate that was just a tip and not an interception.
3rd and 5 now for Ottawa. 30-yard line, 3 wide this time with split backs in the backfield. Jive under center. Oddballing at the line is Jive. Gets the out pattern and turning up field and getting the first down is Michael Knight, and that is a nice first down and moving the chains up to the 38-yard line.
Yeah, that is so important for Ottawa. They have really is sometimes struggled in this game to convert on 3rd down, but just a very straightforward pitch and catch, and they're across the line here. They have redeemed themselves. They've given themselves a second chance at life here on this drive.
And wobbling again at the line is Jive, standing in the gun in the backfield. Another out route, this time on the left hand side to Gus Scott, the two-way player out of DC. He's got a playoff game coming up this weekend, but it doesn't matter to him. He's still coming out to play for his Ottawa squad, and he gets a nice 60-yard catch to the left side to make it 2nd and 4.
Well, that's an interesting point. Also, my teammate Terrence Pearson playing at defensive back for Ottawa. So perhaps a bit of practice for some of these two-way players.
And a deep throw over to the left-hand side, the fullback Azami Mihata, and that goes nowhere as that's tipped away this time by Rick Evans, and it falls incomplete, bringing up 3rd down.
Yeah, and really, I think one of the qualities that has been so impressive about Lincoln's defense so far in this game is that they've really done a great job of adjusting to what Ottawa have tried to do here.
3rd and 4 from the 44. Jive with a deep drop. Out to flats to Simmons. Wide open in the flats. Turning up field and gets the first down yardage he needs before he's tackled up at the 49-yard line. And a nice gain, getting him the yardage he needs to get that first down.
Well, just as I was talking about Lincoln adjusting on defense, I mean, we see again here Ottawa doing a great job adjusting on offense as well. They really have been using more of the outward routes here, but just a pass into the flats here, realizing how much space there was for his receiver to run there, and Ottawa do a great job getting it past the line.
Heavy set now in the backfield on 1st and 10 for Ottawa. Back to throw again is Jive, and pressure gets home, and Jive gets that, as that is going to be number 95 for Lincoln. That is going to be big Fred Carson in there for the big loss and sack on 1st down.
Man, and Ottawa's offensive line has been doing such a great job this drive, setting up, setting space in the pocket and setting up space for the running backs, and that is just really a block that Lincoln was able to shed, and now it's their tempo to dictate on defense.
Back to throw again on 2nd and long. Drive deep over the middle. Has looks like that is number 42, Dusty Rourke, deep over the middle for a long gain and a first down to the 21-yard line. What a play.
Well, as if she could hear me. I mean, my goodness, Cyrus Jive finds Dusty Rourke way open in the middle, and perhaps that was an instance of Ottawa realizing that Lincoln are going to send pressure again, and just sending one deep, realizing that she's probably going to stay open.
And handing the ball off this time to Simmons, but nowhere to go. And Frankie Lynn Custer this time is there for the tackle for no gain, bringing up 2nd and 10.
Well, Ottawa missed a field goal from this range the previous time they were here, and that's going to be something that's sitting on their mind. But that being said, being in the red zone is a great thing after they've struggled to get there so often tonight.
Oh, that one was almost picked off as Jive was looking over to the right-hand side, and Skippy Curtis getting her first pass deflection, I believe, in this one. She gets both mitts up there to knock that one away and incomplete.
Well, it's we mentioned it at the very start of this game, and it's something that I believe you brought up as we were sort of talking before this game, that Skippy Curtis and Frankie Lynn Custer were going to be a big part of the defense for Lincoln, and they very much have been.
Jive back to throw, wide open on the right-hand side is number 10. That's going to be Tyson Burns, but that's only going to be a gain of 5 yards, bringing up 4th down. The momentum from that pass just took Tyson Burns out of bounds, and he couldn't stay in bounds to get that first down.
Yeah, and the Ottawa kicker, all you've got to do is step up to the line, take a few deep breaths, get that miss out of your mind, and just visualize the ball going right down the middle of the uprights. Just put that miss out of your mind.
As Amelia Rose comes on for her 2nd attempt. This time a little bit closer from about 32 yards out. Kick is up. This time she splits the uprights and it's good. So she's 1 for 2 now, and she finally gets this Ottawa squad on the board. We're tied up at 3 with a little over 2 minutes left in the first half. And we've actually reached the 2-minute warning here in Ottawa, with the score tied at 3 apiece. You're watching the SFL Minor League Week 1 action of Season 5 here on YouTube. Ball is on the tee, and this one is away. Return from about the 5-yard line, and gets, it's still returned right up to the right-hand side, and Frankie Custer gets all the way out to the 43-yard line. He had a lane off that right-hand side, broke a couple of tackles, looked like he might have gone all the way there for a second. But what a wonderful return he had off of this kickoff.
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw a kickoff return in a different game earlier tonight, and it felt like we were going to see another one there, didn't it? Frankie Custer breaking 2 tackles, almost broke a third, and there would have been nothing but green grass in front of him. And this is great field position for Lincoln. They're just shy of the 50. I believe this is the best starting field position for either team this game.
I believe you're right. We'll see if they can capitalize off that good field position for Lincoln, but that's not going to do them any favors, as they the pass out there in the flats for Logan Lee goes for a 2-yard loss, and it's going to be 2nd and 12. So going backwards is not a good start.
Well, and perhaps a breath of fresh air, a second win for Ottawa, as they get that field goal back that they felt they should have made the first time. This could be the wake-up call that Ottawa needs to get things going again.
And Slider this time looking to the left, trying to get the pass out to King Jackson. This time falls incomplete. bringing up a 3rd and long already on this drive.
Yeah, and you saw the secondary really just putting their hands up, getting into the space, forcing Kenny Slider to throw around them. This is a great defensive drive from Ottawa.
3rd and 12 now as Slider back to throw. Off to the right-hand side, off the hands and incomplete. King Jackson bobbled that one and just dropped it. Flat out dropped it, and that's going to bring up 4th down on that play.
Yeah, and it was a good ball to Jackson, but also, as you saw towards the end of that play, Ottawa doing a good job of closing in on him. I don't think there would have been much room for him to run, and that was really as much as it was the best starting field position for either team, it was easily the best defensive drive for Ottawa so far.
Punt away without any pressure once again by Frank Gussie. Returned from about the 20-yard line up to about the 26, and Ottawa will have one more chance here on offense, maybe before the half. Try to score some more points here on offense. The SFL convention is coming to Las Vegas Strip July 10th through the 12th. HyperX Esports Arena at the Luxor will host the season kickoff, featuring all 28 teams in action, live commentary throughout the day, every game on the big screens, and your chance to be introduced to the world as a football star. Room rates are just $80 per night stay. Visit simulationfl.net/convention for more information and to reserve your room. As this time, Dwayne Simmons gets a handoff up the middle for only a 3-yard gain, and maybe Ottawa content to run out the clock here on the first half.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, Ottawa have 3 timeouts. I would think you would maybe want to try to move it down the field, get that other field goal back. But if they get the ball at the start of the second half, then I certainly see the logic of trying to run out the clock.
And again, the handoff to Simmons, and this time getting a 3-yard gain, but tackle once again bringing up a 3rd down, and that clock just keeps bleeding away here in the first half, now under 20 seconds. And maybe snap it one more time, but I don't see the logic if they hand it off again.
Yeah, neither team really willing to use their timeouts here, it seems.
And they do hand it off again to Simmons for another 3-yard gain as the last second ticks off the clock here in the first half. And we are tied at 3 apiece between the Lincoln Rattlesnakes and the Ottawa Cavalry. What a defensive struggle we've got going on here in Ottawa, and as we're set to get the kickoff away here in the 3rd quarter. Quickly, what are your thoughts here on the first half?
Well, it's really been a defensive battle in the trenches. Both of these defenses setting the tone, and both of these offenses both struggling and breaking through in some ways. You know, both of these teams are going to have to make adjustments on offense and defense, and really, I think it's going to be one of those games that comes down to a few adjustments making all the difference.
And as the kickoff was returned up to about the 26-yard line, that's where Lincoln will start their first. We'll call it 27, their first drive of the second half. Back to pass is Kenny Slider, who finds, gets the pass out to, looks like Ricky Toolish on that right-hand side for a nice 4-yard gain.
Well, and this is really, I think both of these teams have gone into the locker room, and really, you'd have to believe that the topic of conversation is how they can adjust on offense. You know, both of these defenses have really been stellar all game, and really what you've got to focus on is how you can respond to that as an offense.
Slider back to throw out in the flats once again to Lee. They got an opening on the left-hand side. Look out. And had he not spun there on that left-hand side, I believe Lee could have gone further than he did. But as he is, he's all the way out to midfield for a great gain on that play.
Yeah, and this is just a fantastically drawn up play. You know, you see the pass in the flats following his blocks all the way up, and I mean he was so far gone that he had outrun his blocks there. I mean, who knows if he had a block in front of him? That certainly was setting him up for a touchdown. But what it is set up instead is fantastic field position for Lincoln.
Slider back to throw, has plenty of time, gets the ball out to Lee in the flats, but nothing doing. Tackled for another loss, and that is going to be number 56, Darren Fields.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, to Ottawa's credit, they learned their lesson and were able to realize that as soon as they saw that pass was going to the flat, to send a defender up, and a great job smothering the play there.
And that is going nowhere as Logan Lee goes down for a huge loss, as Fields once again gets a tackle for loss this time, setting up a 3rd and 16.
Yeah, not sure what the deal was there. That handoff was a little slow. Not sure if that handoff was a little bobbled or what the deal was, but he was not in position to receive that like he should have been.
Slider back in the gun, 3rd and 16. D throw over the middle, caught, wide open over the middle. He could go all the way. 5, touchdown. What a play over the middle, and that is going to be Ricky Toolish. We've been calling his name a lot tonight, but he got wide open over that middle slant pattern, and he goes in for 6 points.
Well, and it's really felt like stones being tossed against a brick wall all night, but all of a sudden, Lincoln blowing this one wide open. This feels like a brand new game now as Lincoln get the first touchdown of this game almost a quarter of the way through the 3rd quarter. And really, this is so huge for Lincoln. This is what they've been looking for all game. They've been looking for this padding to give their defense an opportunity to win the game for them.
This kicker, Jordan Shaw, comes out to attempt the extra point, and it is up and through. And that gives Lincoln a 7-point lead as Lincoln goes down and gets the score on their first drive of the second half. Ball is back on the tee, ready to kick off here as Ottawa waits their opportunity to match Lincoln's score on offense. Kick is away. Received at the goal line, right up the middle on the return is up to the 28 is where Ottawa will begin their offensive drive. That was Michael Knight on the return. So a nice gain for Knight on that one to start this possession.
Well, and some parity here. We saw on the previous drive. It was I believe Frankie Custer who got that great return up the field. We almost saw the exact same here for Ottawa.
As Cyrus Jive gets a completion out to Simmons in the flats, but only goes for a 3-yard gains on that left side up to the 32-yard line, 2nd and 7. Ottawa coming out in an ace formation, single back, 2 wide. Cyrus under center on 2nd and 7, back to throw, deep drop for Cyrus Jive, left side. And I think that time Gus Scott was trying to play defense and knock the ball away from the defender, as Frankie Lynn Custer had perfect positioning to come away with that interception. And Gus Scott did everything in his power to just stop that from happening.
Yeah, as I was about to say, sort of a reversal of roles there. Typically, it would be Frankie Custer looking to knock the ball out of his hands, but a great job of positioning downfield by Skippy Curtis, and that was just a brilliant defensive play there by Lincoln.
Back to throw is Jive, right hand side, wide open. That is going to be Michael Knight on that sideline route. That's going to be a first down up to the 39-yard line.
Man, and that was so close to the sideline for Ottawa, the smallest of margins to complete that pass, and that was such a great job by Cyrus Jive to find the open target.
First and 10 from the 39-yard line. 3 wide this time for the offense. Offset eye behind Jive. Back to throw. Deep right-hand side. And that was almost intercepted by Frankie Custard this time. He got both hands up there and knocked that one away. I thought he might come away with that interception.
Yeah, really, this Lincoln secondary has done such a great job getting their hands on the ball. And even though they've only gotten one interception, it really feels like they could have had a lot more, just all these deflections. You really start to wonder when, if at all, this is going to turn into another interception.
Completion over to the left-hand side this time. Gus Scott has a lane up the left-hand side. And that's going to be another first down up to the 42-yard line.
Well, and this is a great job for Gus Scott, the two-way player for DC, just finding him in the middle of his stride, and he finds space open on the sideline there. Lincoln have to send basically everyone on that side of the field just to stop him, and he's able to pick up 4 or 5 yards in the meantime while they're adjusting to where he's going to go.
We'll have to check the spelling of that last name for Dwayne Simmons, because on my sheet it says Simmons, but the game says Salmon. So we'll get a double check of that when we get a chance to. But this time it's going to be Simmons off the left-hand side. He's got a lane, and he's going all the way to the house. 6 points on their first drive of the second half to match Lincoln's score. And it's a touchdown for Simmons as he makes a house call.
Well, Salmons doesn't really matter how you spell it. What it amounts to is a great job exploiting the space provided to him by his offensive line here. And I mean, he just finds space on the outside there. Really no one in a position to catch up to him. And this has been a great job by Ottawa to strike back. Tale of two halves for both of these teams, perhaps.
We await the extra point to potentially tie this one up. Spot is down, the kick is away, and it is good. And we are all tied up once again here in the third quarter. A little over 7 minutes to go. And once again, we are tied up at 10 apiece. And Alden equal touchdowns on each team scoring touchdowns on their opening possessions in the second half.
Well, I mentioned the parity of both of these teams' first returns of the first half, but we're starting to see parity of scoring now.
And as we await the offense for Lincoln to come back out to the field, a reminder that the SFL has partnered with Laser to deliver digital SFL player trading cards to its players and viewers debuting this Saturday during the Mexico City Charleston wildcard game on SFL Twitch. Viewers every 30 minutes will be issued one of 18 trading cards, or you can buy the entire pack through Laser's store. Visit laser.gg and click the Join Alpha button, connect your Twitch account, and begin collecting. As this time, Mitch Trunk gets the sack and brings down a Kenny Slider.
Well, this has really been something that we've been seeing mostly from Lincoln, sending the pressure and just a great job blowing through the block there. And that is really what Ottawa have been hoping to see all game on defense. You know, we talked about Ottawa getting a second wind after they made a field goal after missing one, but perhaps this touchdown could really be sort of the proverbial smelling salts under their proverbial nose here.
Slider gets the ball out to the flats to Lee, but nowhere to go once again, as this time it's Kevin Smoker smoking Lee out there in the flats to get a tackle for loss, bring up 3rd and long. Bringing up a 3rd and 17 situation for this Lincoln offense. This time, Slider comes out in the gun, 3 wide, 2 backs on either side, one on either side of him. All the time in the world, now running out of time. Dancing around, trying to find a receiver. Now running out of time and just throws this one away. Nowhere to go with that one. Just finally tossed that one to the sidelines and brings up 4th down.
Yeah, and really credit to the offensive line of Lincoln. Very clearly Kenny Slider demonstrating his trust in that offensive line, and they in turn putting their bodies on the line for him. Man, that impact block at the very end of that play, doing a great job, but just nobody open downfield. A great job of coverage by Ottawa, and they're going to get the ball back in pretty decent field position, I would say.
Yeah, I would say even plus territory. Well, maybe almost plus territory. Their own 49-yard line after he's tackled right there after that punt return. And that is where Ottawa will start this next drive. So a great defensive possession by Ottawa's defense gives Cyrus Drive and company great field position to start with. On offense, let's see if it can translate to points now as they hand the ball off to Dwayne Simmons. Simmons gets up to about the 46-yard line for a gain of 5 to bring up a 2nd and 5 on that play right at the middle.
Yeah, and this is really Ottawa's chance to start to take control of this game. They do a good job picking up some picking up some yardage there, and they're really going to look to get a touchdown that would put them in firm control here.
Handing the ball off to Simmons again, this time to the left-hand side goes Simmons. And right there is Rick Evans to get the tackle for no gain on that play to set up a 3rd and 5.
Oh man, Lincoln are tightening up here. Ottawa trying to get downfield and Lincoln trying to stop them. This is really as classic of an example of trench warfare in football as you can get.
3rd down, pump fake, but just dumps that one to the turf and incomplete. So I believe the pressure from number 95, Fred Carson, for Lincoln just caused that one to just go straight to the turf as soon as Cyrus Drive let go of that one.
Yeah, and it's really been honestly, as much as Ottawa started in a good position, this has been a tough drive for them. I think what we're gonna see here, we're gonna see a coffin punt really trying to get that pin deep, deep, deep in Lincoln's own zone.
As this punt is away from Aiden Loft, return from about the 11-yard line and up to, we'll call it the 15 before he's tackled right there. And Lincoln's going to have some work to do on offense if they want to score again as they start from the 15 on their next offensive possession.
Yeah, that they are. I mean, really, Lincoln's back is not nearly as against the wall as Ottawa would have hoped. However, if Ottawa are able to send the pressure, they could push them even further back.
Back to throw is Slider, finding his fullback this time, John McCool, out in the flats for only a 1-yard gain. Nice open field tackle out there made by Ottawa's defense to stop him for only a gain of 1.
Yeah, and the reason that you saw Lincoln going with that pass to the flat, really they were looking for 3, 4, 5 yards to really create some space for them to not have to worry about getting knocked back, and a good job stopping them there by Ottawa.
Audibling at the line is Slider, back to throw over the middle on the slant pattern to be caught for a nice 7-yard gain by King Jackson. It's going to bring up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, and you saw the pressure just coming around the block on the edge there, and so a great job by Slider to get the pass out on time. But oh man, that could you imagine if he didn't have anyone open?
3rd and 2 now for Lincoln as they hand the ball off this time to Lee. Absolutely nowhere to go. Number 92 for Ottawa. That is Mitch Strunk once again wreaking havoc in the offensive backfield for Lincoln. 4th down coming up.
Well, a very appropriate name for Mitch Trunk, because I bet that runner for Lincoln feels like he got run over by an elephant. And that is such a huge defensive drive for Ottawa. They're going to get the ball back in great field position again, and all the pressure.
Yeah, that one almost got home on that punt block, and that was fumbled. Oh, and Ottawa comes away with the recovery. That could almost been a disaster had they not got that ball back, but boy, that was too close for comfort if you're an Ottawa fan.
I tell you, shades of that Memphis game earlier where we saw a fumble on a kick return. Man, they really cannot afford to give a turnover there.
3 wide this time. Jive back to throw, left hand side completed, and they're gonna say he's out of bounds. I'm not sure about that one.
Ooh, I throw the
Scott. Yeah, I was gonna say Gus
I throw
Scott
the challenge
looked like
flag.
Gus Scott looked like he had at least 1 foot down, maybe even 2 before he went out of bounds. Let's see if they do throw the flag here on that coaching offensive sideline.
Oh, I guess they value their timeout more. That's an interesting strategic decision.
Yeah, interesting. But that no call for the challenge will bring up a 2nd and 10 after that questionable call by the referee, handing the ball off to Simmons. But it doesn't matter because that's going to be a first down run by Simmons. He said, "Take that, referee, on that bad call. I'm going to take that run myself for a first down and move the chains myself."
Yeah, Dwayne Salmons or Simmons, depending on how you spell it, just does a great job finding the tiniest bit of daylight up the middle there. And oh man, what a fantastic run. I mean, boy, that would be a highlight worthy run if this was the SFL major leagues, but to see that kind of awareness at the minor league level is just fantastic.
And I'm not sure how Jive got away with getting rid of that one before he got sacked, but he does get rid of that one. But Simmons catches it out in the flats and still loses the yard, but gets tackled for a loss on that play. Bringing up a 2nd and 11 situation just on the other side of the midfield stripe. This time, Ottawa is going to go with an empty backfield. Jive by himself standing back there. 4 wide. Jive back to throw. Deep over the middle. And that's going to be caught down to the 26-yard line. That is going to be Tyson Burns with the first down catch.
Yeah, and this is really sort of what Ottawa were able to do so well last drive is just, oh man, and you see the ball placed up into double coverage, but just a fantastic job for Tyson Burns to play tall ball, like we've been saying, to just get up into the air and grab it, and the double coverage essentially negated by the sheer athleticism of the play.
And this time the handoff goes to Simmons right up the middle, but this time tackled by number 94 for Lincoln. That's Matthias Citrion with the tackle for only a 3-yard gain for Simmons. Bringing up a 2nd and 7 situation from the Lincoln 24-yard line. Ottawa in good position to score here if they don't if they take care of the ball. Back to throw is Jive out to the flats to Simmons. Nice open lane for a second there on that right-hand side before the defense got there, but nonetheless, a good 6-yard gain is going to bring up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, oh man, that was Skippy Curtis doing a great job to read where that was going, and if she had not reacted to that, the split second that she did, I mean, we're looking at a first down here.
Jive hands the ball off to Simmons. Nice open hole by the offensive line right up the middle, and that's going to be another first down.
And this is a great job marching down the field by Ottawa. This is something that both teams, not just Ottawa, have really struggled to do all game. And Ottawa showing that you don't necessarily need to be explosive to score in games like this. You can just chip away. And sometimes that is just as good as all of a sudden going 70 yards in one play.
Jive with 3 wide under center this time. Is Jive back to throw. Has time. Left-hand side, wide open. That's going to be a touchdown. Dusty Rourke in the end zone. And Ottawa goes up by 6 as she found herself wide open on that left-hand side. And she was able to waltz in and gets herself in the end zone once again.
Well, Dusty Rourke, the two-way player for the Charleston Predators, showing her value as an offensive receiver. I mean, my goodness, she has been all over this offense for Cyrus Jive. She has been one of his most reliable targets, and you see doing a great job there to get deep and get to the outside, get past the secondary, and there was really nothing that they could do when she had the ball in her hands. That was going to be a touchdown all day long.
As the extra point snap is down, kick is up and is good, and Ottawa, for the first time today, finds themselves in the lead by 7 points with 3 seconds left now in the third quarter. Ball is on the tee, about to get the kick away here, as that Annapolis-Madison game has gone final. Looks like Annapolis came away with their first win of the season, so congrats to Annapolis, as this kick returned by Frankie Custard is returned up to the 32-yard line, and that is where their offense will begin when we begin the fourth quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, put your fourths up in the chat. Your 86 is up. We've reached the fourth quarter with the score Ottawa 17 and Lincoln 10. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the SFL Minor League here on YouTube. Nate Hall alongside Alden Bleeker. You're watching Lincoln now on offense. Back throw his slider, finding Logan Lee out in the flats on first down. Gets a nice 5-yard gain before he's tackled. Bring up a 2nd and 5.
This is really Lincoln's big opportunity to take this game back. You know, there's 11 minutes, give or take, left in this game, and really Ottawa are in a position now where they can be in the driver's seat. You know, this is going to be their game to win or lose. It really feels like.
If that handoff is made by to Logan Lee off the right hand side, looks like he's slow to get up. I thought we might have had an injury there for a second, but glad to see he got back up. But a nice gain on 2nd down brings up the 3rd and 2. So a 3rd and 2 situation now from Lincoln's own 40-yard line. Offset eye behind. Slider hands the ball off to Lee. Gets a nice hole off that left-hand side, and that's going to be a 1st down.
Yeah, and this is really the first step for Lincoln is converting on 3rd down. You know, Ottawa have been so suffocating on defense, you know, really since they came out of the locker room for the second half. And oh man, this is so tough for Lincoln. You know, you really feel like for these first couple drives, if you don't get anything done, I mean, it really feels like this is the game on the line for them.
Slider back to throw, wide open over the middle for a nice 6-yard gain before he's tackled. That's going to be number 46 tight end Torrey Perry on that reception.
But overall, I think one of the strengths really for Lincoln on defense is that they are able to manage stress fairly well. You know, so far they've really dealt with a high-powered Ottawa offense well on defense, and now having to do the same on the other side of the ball.
And handing the ball off again to Lee is Kenny Slider. I'm sorry, excuse me. This time it was fullback John McCool getting the handoff up the middle on 2nd down and gets a nice carry for a gain of about 5, I believe, before he's tackled, setting up a 3rd and inches situation from the 46-yard line. So 3rd and inches. Slider under center now. Handing the ball off again to Lee this time. And Lee gets the 1st down yardage that he needs to move the chains.
Wow, and that would have been such a huge stop for Ottawa, but just a great job by Lincoln putting all of their blockers up front, creating just enough daylight for him to get the less than 1 yard that was needed to get the 1st down, and they really, that is so huge for Lincoln.
And Slider back to throw, left hand side, and gets a completion out to Torrey Perry. That's his 2nd catch of the drive now. Nice 2-yard gain, set up a 2nd and 8.
Oh man, maybe a little miscommunication by Lincoln. It to me, it did not look like that was the intended target. It looked like there was another receiver for Lincoln that was going on sort of a wheel route.
Slider, play action pass, throws over the middle, and that's going to be caught, but only for a gain of 1 yard as he completes it to Logan Lee. But number 56 outside linebacker Darren Fields was right there to make the tackle and make sure he didn't go anywhere.
And man, maybe that little miscommunication of just having to get the receiver that was there rather than the one that was open. Man, if this is 5 yards shorter, this is so easy to pick up for Lincoln.
And this time they hand the ball off to John McCool on 3rd and 7. And Josh Neal was right there to make the stop 3 yards shy of the line to gain. Nowhere near the first down marker, so Lincoln sends their punter out to punt this one away, 4th down.
Man, and Ottawa is going to be in full chew clock mode here, so I almost think there's an argument to be made, and there's the pressure again. I almost think there's an argument to be made to go for it.
As that punt finds its way out of bounds, and that goes out of bounds at around the 7-yard line. So Lincoln does do a good job of angling this punt to make Ottawa have to work, making them start deep in their own territory, inside their own 10-yard line, after that great punt.
Well, and as I was getting ready to say, I mean, the other option is that you put up a fantastic punt deep in the zone, and that's exactly what we saw there by Lincoln.
And we're going to get our first penalty of the ball game as a D lineman for Lincoln jumped off sides. We'll see who the guilty party is here, as that looks to be number 90 for Lincoln. That is defensive end Julius Arnold, the guilty party, as he jumped early.
Oh man, and you really do not want to be giving up free yardage if you're Lincoln. I mean, that fantastic punt set Lincoln or set Ottawa, excuse me, deep in their own zone here, and oh man, and it's a free first down. That's just as bad.
So 1st and 5 now after that penalty. Drive back to throw, wide open on the right-hand side. That's Tyson Burns. And that's going to be a first down after that great catch on the right-hand side.
Well, and we really do have to, I feel like, single out Cyrus Jive. You know, he gave up that interception so early in this game, and then to recover to have well over 200 passing yards and a passing touchdown. I think that really shows a lot of character for Cyrus Jive. You know, that it doesn't have experience at the major league level yet, but showing a little bit of experience that maybe some of his fresh rookie peers might not.
That pass is completed by Dwayne Simmons. He's got an opening after laying out one of the Lincoln defenders. He gets all the way down to the Lincoln 47-yard line before he goes down. What a play.
Yeah, and man, this is Ottawa really looking to chew the clock here, I would think, but if they could get another touchdown, maybe even I think they'd even be happy with a field goal. I mean, that would be so big for them, and you see the offensive line for Ottawa creating so much space for them there. Jerry Jones, the guard, and Jeremiah Tarter, the center, creating so much space downfield. You know, that's really something that Ottawa's offensive line has done so well, is not only blocking up front but creating secondary blocks down the field.
Drive back to throw on the right-hand side again is Burns, and he's going to get another first down all the way inside the 30-yard line to the 27 for another first down.
And the strategy for Ottawa, it seems, is to get yards. It seems like they're going for another touchdown or another field goal. It really seems like they're trying to pad this lead to try to make things even more comfortable for their defense. So even if Lincoln gets a field goal or a touchdown on this next drive, they're very free to then chew the clock on the next possession. This is very smart football by Ottawa.
I thought that Rourke was going to find herself open on that right-hand side, but that defender was there to be able to break that up at the last second. Let's see if that was on that side right there.
Well, and you certainly can't fault Cyrus Jive and Dusty Rourke for trying again. I mean, Dusty Rourke has been just one of the most reliable targets on the field for Cyrus Jive. You know, she already had one deep pass that broke up the Lincoln secondary, and also got a fantastic touchdown drive. It was earlier in this quarter, so you really can't fault the quarterback for leaning on the reliable receivers.
Drive under center, and the ball off to Simmons, but Simmons is going to go back, maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but before he's tackled. As you see some of his numbers, he is over 100 yards on the day, so he's having a good day at 102 right now. Offset I for Ottawa here on 3rd and 10, 3 wide. Hands the ball off once again to Simmons. But a nice tackle made in the open field by Rick Evans. And that's going to bring up 4th down. And we got to think we're probably going to see the field goal unit again.
Yeah, you certainly. And oh man, I mean, one field goal made, one field goal missed. I mean, this feels like a high pressure situation. I mean, this is not to tie or win the game, but it would put Ottawa in such a commanding position if they could get this field goal and then be in a position to chew the clock as soon as they get the ball back. It would put all the pressure in the world on Lincoln.
Snaps down, the kick is away, and it is good. So Ottawa with 3:35 left in this one will find themselves up by 10 points. So a nice 2-score cushion as we enter the late stages of this ball game.
Well, and as much as we give credit to Cyrus Jai for recovering after a rocky start, you know, credit certainly is due to Amelia Rose as well, missing that first field goal, but absolutely perfect since. And man, 2 field goals that could not have come at a more important time. Ottawa going to look to get this ball back and just chew the clock till they get to a point where they can kneel it out.
And a reminder that APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. As Slider looking for Lee on the right-hand side, just falls out of his hands and incomplete. Bringing up a 2nd and 10 situation from the 26-yard line. Lincoln needing to score definitely, I believe, here on this possession to stay in the game. Back in the gun is Slider. Pump fake, left-hand side. Ooh. But too close out of bounds is Lee, and he just falls out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. No gain, 3rd down.
Oh, man, and a tough start to this drive for Lincoln, but I almost wonder if this is 4-down territory for Lincoln here with less than 4 minutes in the game. 2-minute warning coming up. Effectively, they have 4 timeouts if they can keep the ball in their hands.
Slider back to throw, right-hand side, and again, off the hands of, this time that was King Jackson getting the Butterfingers, and falls off of his hands and incomplete, bring up 4th and 10.
Because here's the thing, right? Lincoln need 2 scores, no matter how or when they get it. They need 2 scores, so... Yeah, I was going to say, I think you have to go for it here and hope you draw up the perfect pass play.
They will go for it here on 4th and 10. 3 wide for Lincoln. Back to throw. That's not going to do it unless he gets... oh, that will do it. The drive will continue as he gets a good lane off that right-hand side. They will go hurry up as he gets the reception out to Lee. Back to throw his Slider. another screen pass to Lee, and that's going to be a gain of about 2 yards. They stay in the hurry up. Everybody rushing to the line now. Back to throw again, slider. Left side this time out in the flats for Lee, and that's going to be no gain on that play. You got to think they got to start looking down the field here before too long. 3rd down now and 8 from the 45-yard line for Lincoln. Back to throw his slider over the middle. Completed. That's going to be a 1st down, and they're going to slow it down. Ooh, McCool is shaken up, and he is going to be coming out of the game. Might be a concussion issue as he got hammered on that tackle.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to see one of your players injured, but I mean, perhaps a bit of a blessing in disguise, if you could call it that, for Lincoln, because in injury timeout, giving them now what is effectively a 5th timeout. You know, the 2-minute warning is going to be their 4th timeout, and now they get an opportunity to reset rather than having to constantly hustle to the line, and now they'll get a chance to do it again at the 2-minute warning.
Back to throw his slider over the middle. Completed for a 1st down. That is Brian Murphy with the reception, the 2-way player out of Denver. Back to throw his slider once again, continuing with the hurry-up offense out to Lee. Another 2-yard gain up to the 28-yard line this time. Clock still ticking down to the 2-minute warning. So we made it to the 2-minute warning, 2 minutes left in the ball game. Ottawa up by 10 points, but Lincoln is driving. So don't go anywhere. You're watching the SFL Minor League here on YouTube.
Well, this has been so important for Lincoln, having these 2 free timeouts, essentially. They are going to save, I would imagine, all 3 of their timeouts for Ottawa trying to run out the clock. And that's been so... They have a fighting chance now, essentially, because they've gotten 2 timeouts for free.
As Slider gets a deep pass over the left-hand side, that's Lottie Liu. We haven't heard much from Lottie Liu since the 1st quarter, but comes up in a huge way on that play with a big gain on the left side all the way down to the 9-yard line. So 1st and goal now from the 9.
And the clock stopped again. The clock stopped again.
As he went out of bounds on that play, clock stopped with 3 wide, back to throw his slider. And the clock is stopped once again off of that play, but that went nowhere as he doesn't get anything on that one. No gain on the play, 2nd and goal from the 9.
And these out routes are so smart for clock management. You know, I may be a little biased as the Lincoln head coach Mike All is also the general manager of the Jacksonville Kings, but this is so smart to manage the clock this way without using timeouts. All these out routes, providing opportunities, and in routes for that matter, providing opportunities for receivers to just step out of bounds. This is so clever.
Back to throw is Slider getting the catch out on the left-hand side to Logan Lee for another 5-yard gain. 3rd down now, 3rd and goal from the 5. Gets the ball out, and this is going to be a 4th down from the 5. Logan Lee did get out of bounds, so it stopped the clock. But this is going to be interesting. You got to wonder if they're going to go for the field goal to make it a 1-score game, or are they going to try to go for the touchdown here?
Well, of course, the field goal is the safer option of the 2, but oh man, it feels like you're maybe just conceding the game if you're not able to get the onside kickback.
Well, it looks like they are lining up for the field goal, so this will be a 21-yard attempt. Snap spot kick is up, and it is good right down the middle. So it is a 1-score game. Lincoln does have all 3 timeouts left that they can use, so as long as their defense can get a stop.
Yeah, and
even if they don't recover this onside kick, I was going to say, they do have all 3 timeouts if they can get a stop.
Yeah, and that's the big thing for Lincoln. They give themselves a fighting chance by going for that field goal. Is the argument in favor of that field goal, and Ottawa are technically in field goal range, but if they're not able to pick up 5, 6, 7 yards. It's going to be a very difficult field goal. And we saw what we thought was a fairly straightforward field goal shank right by Amelia Rose earlier in this game. Now she's recovered since, but they could put her in a very difficult position and potentially have her miss and get back in the game that way. Oh no.
That's not going to help him at all in Lincoln's defense, as they're going to get an offsides penalty on that defensive line. That's the second one we've seen from them today. We'll see who it was again.
And it could not come at a worse time. I mean, not only the 5 yards, but as we said earlier, another first down. And oh man, these really feel like almost suicidal penalties here.
And that is Julius Arnold, the same defensive end that caused the first penalty, is the guilty party the second time around once again. So definitely hurting his team this evening for Arnold is for Lincoln is Arnold, as they come out with a 1st and 5 situation from the 35-yard line. Otto comes out in the offset I formation. Handing the ball off to Simmons, but it gets blown up in the backfield. A nice tackle made by number 91, Zeus Howard, as it looks like the injured player from earlier got poked in the eye. So that was his injury.
Oh, no fun. I mean, certainly a good decision by the Lincoln coaching staff to take him out for a week. But, oh man, that pressure from Lincoln was so huge. And I mean, this still would be a very difficult field goal from here.
Gotta get a stop for Lincoln. So they do take a timeout after only allowing a 2-yard gain on that handoff to Simmons. So a 3rd and 6 situation coming up for Ottawa's offense from the 36. Minute 20 left in the game, and you gotta think one more stop will do it for this defense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can feel it, Nate, but it almost feels like the momentum is starting to swing back in Lincoln's favor after that nearly disastrous penalty to start off this drive.
Back to throw is Jive, left-hand side, completed. That's going to be caught by number 11, Gus Scott. That is number 41, tight end Sean Baker on the left side. You got to think that might be ball game.
Well, and this is just a great block up top. The one defensive end that was able to was threatening, I should say, to get around the blocks. Really a good decision by the Ottawa offensive line to just wrap him up tight and risk the holding penalty rather than give up a sack or worse, an interception.
And as Ottawa takes their final couple of knees, a reminder that the coverage of the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports continues this weekend with a pair of wildcard round doubleheaders at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Saturday, as London hosts Jacksonville and Mexico City visits Charleston. On Sunday, DC will have its fans behind them against Tulsa, and Florida takes to the road for a rare playoff game away from home against Sioux Falls. Visit NLSE.com to find Next Level Sports in your area, and I will be part of that London-Jacksonville call. So after this game, I'll be finding a flight to London on a red-eye to try to get out overseas to make that call in time. So that'll be fun.
Yep,
But,
and I'll be close behind you, I believe, as a member of the Jacksonville Kings. Also, Terrence Pearson, my teammate, playing cornerback for the Ottawa Cavalry here tonight, and really we're going to hope that he can continue to ride this momentum into our playoff game tomorrow.
As Ottawa takes their last knee and runs out the final seconds of this clock, Ottawa comes out with a Week 1 victory after getting one win all season. Last season comes out with a Week 1 win after a hard-fought, gritty battle with Lincoln Rattlesnakes. Comes away with a 20-13 win. What do you think the difference was in this game, Alden, as we take a look at some of these replays?
Well, I really think that you have to say that this was a display of grittiness by Ottawa. You know, we saw We saw an early turnover by Cyrus Drive, and we saw an early field goal miss by Amelia Rose. It would be very easy to sort of give up on the game after making a mistake and feeling like the game was lost. But we saw them hang in there and continue to fight, and as a result they were able to make the adjustments. They were able to send pressure, break through this brick wall that was the Lincoln defense for most of the game, and they were finally able to start scoring in the second half like they had hoped. And as a great fight by Lincoln put up. Let's not twist things here. A great fight put up by Lincoln at the end there. Innovative clock management by first-time minor league head coach Mike All. And oh man, it's a tough loss to swallow if you're a Lincoln fan, but all you can do is pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back on the practice field. Start tweaking some things and working on the things you've already been working on. That's about all you can do.
Yeah, and to your point, Lincoln, got London on my mind because of what we talked about a few minutes ago. Lincoln did play a great game, as you said. They came out in the first half with a great game plan. They just fell on the wrong end of the scoreline tonight. You take a look at the player of the game, Dwayne Simmons, with his 102 yards on 23 attempts and 1 touchdown with 46 receiving yards in addition to that. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, with the final score 20-13 for Alden Bleecker. I'm Nate Hall. We thank you for watching this evening and look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for more SFL action as we enter the playoff round and the wild cards. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.